Coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
Good evening, I'm Zachary Balog, and you are watching MediaPlex News Now. In our top story, staffing challenges at Transit Windsor will likely lead to service disruptions. Savannah Mills reports.
The City of Windsor is reducing Transit Windsor services due to staffing challenges that have followed since the implementation of the COVID-19 vaccination policy. City officials said that due to the significant number of Transit Windsor operations and maintenance staff that have not been vaccinated and can no longer work with Transit Windsor, bus schedules will be reduced from its current full service to an enhanced Saturday service model that will come into effect on November 21st. Autumn Thingment, local bus rider, explained how this change is going to affect her life.
I feel that we just got back to the regular schedule for the buses, not even a month and a half ago. And as somebody who takes the bus to work several times a week, and I know that a lot of others that do, I think it's going to be a major impact on a lot of people changing the schedule from regular schedule to Saturday schedule yet again.
Executive Director Tyson Craig said service will continue, but there will be fewer buses in rotation and that delay should be expected. I'm Savannah Mills for MediaPlex News.
It's crime fighting time, so let's check in with Constable Lauren Briscoe from Crime Stoppers.
On October 15th at approximately 9:15 p.m., patrols officers responded to a convenience store located in the 1400 block of Ouellette Avenue for a report of a robbery. It was reported that the suspect entered the store, brandished a knife towards an employee, and took a quantity of Canadian currency. On November 12th, Windsor Police Major Crime Unit released updated images of the robbery suspect and is seeking the public assistance in identifying this person. The updated images can be found on our website, catchcrooks.com. The female suspect is described as white, approximately 30 years old, 5'7" to 5'8", 160 pounds. The suspect was wearing a dark gray toque, a white long sleeve shirt under a gray short sleeve, dark blue jeans, white Adidas running shoes, and carrying a brown bag. Anyone with information is asked to contact Windsor Police Major Crime Unit, or if you wish to remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers at 519-258-TIPS or online at catchcrooks.com. And while I have you here, we have an Indian event coming up, a Taste of India. It's at India 47 restaurant located at Les Bronx and EC Row. The tickets are $60 per person. And with each ticket, you get a wonderful meal, a $20 tax receipt, as well as 5 raffle tickets. So if you're interested in the event, also visit our website, catchcrooks.com. I'm Police Coordinator from Windsor Police, Constable Lauren Briscoe.
The MediaPlex Friday Live radio show has an exciting opportunity this year with CJAM. Isabella Spadafora has the story. It's Friday, and that means it's time for MediaPlex Friday Live.
For the fall 2021 semester, the MediaPlex received the opportunity to record Friday Live with CJAM 99.1, a student-run radio show that operates at the University of Windsor. David Harrison, a professor at the MediaPlex, said the school was contacted by Carly Schweitzer, the station manager at CJAM. Riley Livingston, a PR student at the MediaPlex, said Harrison had mentioned at the beginning of the semester that the students were able to participate in the TV and radio show.
So immediately I thought that might be something cool, so I sent him an email, and then he approached me about being one of the co-hosts, and I was very honored, and I thought, well, let's try it out.
Zachary Balog is a graduate of the journalism program and currently a student in the PR program at the MediaPlex. Balog has been involved with the TV and radio show since he started the journalism program.
Well, it really goes back to 2019 when I first joined the show, and ever since then I was the co-host of the show, and it's a really good opportunity to be the host.
CJAM is young, fun, diverse, and have something to say, and our students here at the MediaPlex are young, fun, and diverse, and have something to say.
Catch Friday Live at noon on CJAM 99.1 and 10:30 a.m. on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. From MediaPlex News, I'm Isabella Spadafora.
As we head into the holiday season, Windsor has many events planned. Gracie Lowe's reports on this year's Winterfest.
The cold weather is here, which means Winterfest is on its way to Windsor. Every year, to get into the holiday spirit, downtown Windsor holds a Winterfest that anyone is welcome to attend. This year, the festival will take place from Monday, November 15th to Sunday, January 16th. Alexa Fraser works at Tourism Windsor Essex, which is running this year's Winterfest.
So this year, the Santa Claus Day parades are and Kingsville. Kingsville is also having like a night market type thing.
There will be events like the Holiday Village, where downtown is transformed into the North Pole, where residents and visitors can enjoy their very own winter wonderland. And there will also be gingerbread battles, which is an online competition where residents can submit their gingerbread houses to the Windsor Star for a chance to win Best Gingerbread House in Windsor, Essex.
These are just a few of the events. Look at Tourism Windsor Essex website. For MediaPlex News, I'm Gracie Lowe's.
Sounds like fun. If you like to walk, then you already know it's good for your health. Here's Sydney Vascor.
When it comes to exercise, we've all been told that taking 10,000 steps per day is what we should aim for. Ever wonder why that is or how it might benefit you? Knowing the health benefits of taking 10,000 steps per day may motivate you to do so. Let's take a look. A recent study conducted by Harvard University had 17,000 women placed in 3 groups. Out of the 3 groups, the most active group, averaging around 8,000 steps, were 40% less likely to die. Other benefits of walking 10,000 steps per day include improving your sleep, reducing fatigue, and the risk of chronic disease drops. Now that you know the benefits, will you challenge yourself to 10,000 steps per day? I know I will.
It's not too early for St. Clair College's main campus to get ready for Christmas. Ken Pastushin reports.
It's beginning to look a little bit like Christmas at the St. Clair College South Campus and the Center for the Arts.
There are already a few presents under the Christmas tree in the main lobby, but someone forgot to plug in the lights. The lights are well lit on the Christmas tree in front of the Student Representative Council offices. The SRC is also providing their annual toy and food drive service for St. Clair College students with families.
SRC is doing a number of events for during Christmas. The most important event is our toy and food drive. Toy and food drive is basically the students who have kids and who are in need of food. So we do give food as well as toys, as well as some gift cards to the students who are in need.
One way to alleviate stress before exams is to see a movie at the Chrysler Theater. A Christmas Story is playing on Friday, November 26th at 7:30. Admission is $7.95. Families can take their children to lunch and a movie with Santa on Saturday, November 27th at the Alumni Skyline Ballroom. The cost is $19.99 plus tax, and the movie is Elf. And on Fridays and Saturdays, on December 10th, 11th, 16th, and 17th at 7:30, the St. Clair Music Theater students are presenting their annual Christmas show. Adult admission is $20, while students pay only $10. The final show is on Sunday, December 18th at 2 o'clock. For the MediaPlex News Now, I'm Ken Pastushin.
The holiday season is fast approaching, and the Windsor BIA have many activities planned. Debbie Croucher joined us in studio.
So we have holiday light displays, including over 8 illuminated displays, a photo frame, a reindeer, Christmas ornaments, rings, and you name it. So it's pretty exciting. We're color washing the commercial buildings downtown. We have a holiday village in the downtown for November and 2 iterations in December. And then we have Santa meet and greets. We have the gingerbread house competition, and a whole host of activities going on.
David Mouche was in studio recently taping an episode of Face to Face with John Fairley, and he let us know what the next steps are as it pertains to the hospital.
Well, some exciting times coming with respect to planning for the brand new acute care hospital and getting the community engaged in that, and there'll be a lot more coming out very shortly where individuals, if you're interested, say in the NICU or critical care or cardiology, is you'll be able to be part of various town halls and or surveys to get your opinion on what those programs from your point of view should be able to look like. So expect to hear something with that very shortly for the community to get involved and be part of the planning for the new acute care hospital.
Mark Jones is a man who is making a difference for those who would enjoy accessible playgrounds. Sarita Varanasi reports.
Braden, where do you want to go first? Oh my God. On that one, okay.
Mark Jones is on his way to meet a boy he calls his hero.
Wait.
I've always had an infatuation for playgrounds since I was a kid.
This is Braden St. Louis. Due to his autism, Down syndrome, and hip dysplasia, this is one of the few playgrounds he can enjoy. Jones builds accessible playgrounds across Windsor, Essex. Accessible means the playground is safe and functional for children with disabilities.
I would say well over 100, and in the last 3 years, probably about 15 fully accessible ones.
For Jones, safety is a priority, but fun is the objective.
That's what I like to hear. A child who's using a wheelchair should look at the playground and say, I want to go play there. And a child who is a hockey player and a stud athlete, what have you, would look at that and say, I want to go play there.
Big or small, Jones says the design process is simple.
I don't ever have a problem. I'll go to the site and I'll just visualize it with the surroundings and what have you. I don't know how to explain it. It's just something that I have, and I'm lucky to have it, and I always like to think outside the box.
Jones is a builder and always has been, but there's a reason why playgrounds hold a special place in his life.
I have never told anybody this because there is the stigma out there. I myself have an attention deficit issue, and I always have.
For Jones, long conversations and tedious classes can be a challenge.
I just could not take things in, and back then nobody really knew anything about these different challenges, so I just felt maybe I was a little slower than everybody else.
As a child, playtime was when Jones felt most happy.
Whenever I was outside doing sports, but more importantly, playing on playgrounds where it's unstructured, I was in heaven.
Twyla St. Louis is Braden's mother and says her son's progress on the playground surprised her.
We've been told that, he wasn't going to walk again, and you can see all the things that he's actually doing, and it actually challenges him more to do more things because there's so much to explore. He really, really is doing a lot more than we ever expected him to.
Before 2014, Braden had trouble walking, but could still play on regular playgrounds.
We were taking Braden to playgrounds before he was in a wheelchair. And when we would take him, he would do certain things, but then things got harder for him to do.
So they built a backyard playground.
We built the playground within days of when we got the diagnosis that his hips were dislocated. He's got the memory of being in a playground and being able to do these things, and the frustration of he wants to do it, he's trying to do it, he's hurting himself doing it. To watch him not be able to go up the rock climbing wall was personally a very heartbreaking moment, and to have him go help, and we'd physically have to help him and lift his legs so that he could actually go up the wall.
Yeah.
After struggling to play for years, Braden discovered Play McGivney.
You want to go that one? To the boat? To the boat?
This time, his shouts were not of pain, but of excitement.
Oh! Oh! Ready?
There's no better feeling than that. Money is not an issue to me. I don't care about money. I drive an old truck. I don't care. It's the smiles on these kids' face. That's everything.
Mark Jones has an amazing heart. He's kind, he's wonderful, he's visionary. It engenders kids' imagination. Imagination is amazing. That is what all of the inventions have been built on, is kids being able to imagine, growing up into adults who can imagine.
Jones waved goodbye to the St. Louis family on that day at the park and got into his truck.
He enjoyed that playground immensely, which makes my job so much fun. I don't have the words for it. I was just so happy today. It was incredible.
Whatever the future of his playground business, he says he will not give up on his goal to make every playground in Windsor, Essex accessible. Sarita Varanasi, MediaPlex News.
I hope you have your jackets this evening. Currently, it is clear and 5 degrees. And now, your 3-day forecast. Wednesday, we will have a high of 15 with a chance of showers. Thursday, cloudy and 2. Friday, a mix of sun and clouds and 5. And single digits for the weekend and next week. Terry O'Reilly is a Canadian broadcast producer and personality. He is well known as the host of Under the Influence, which alone has received nearly 30 million podcast downloads. He joined us via Teams in the MediaPlex, and we asked him about the future of media in Canada.
But, I mean, when you look at social media, which is the big change, which, I mean, in the bulk of my career, there was no social media. I mean, I did not have those channels at my disposal. So I think in some ways it's the most exciting time to be in communications because you have all these additional channels, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, all of that, Twitter. To me, they're just channels. To me, the question is, what are you putting in those channels? Like, what is the creativity you're putting in those channels? And most of those channels are, and only too well, they're places to have conversations. They're hard to sell in those spaces. People don't really love a lot of sell in those spaces. So if you look at the social media for Under the Influence, for example, you'll notice that we are constantly talking to our listeners, constantly. Then when it comes time for me to sell a book, I can sell the book because my feed is not just selling, it's mostly talking. So when it comes time to sell, people are willing to listen to my sell. But 98% of the time, they're giving me story ideas, they're giving me episode ideas, they're disagreeing with what I said, they're agreeing with what I said, but we really have a really great back and forth. And I think brands have to learn that it is about a conversation. I think that's what brands are still struggling with. They can't quite shake off the one-way conversation that communication has been for 100 years. They're still trying to get used to the fact that it's a real two-way now. And I think that's just going to increase in the future. It's just going to be even more. And I think the good thing about social media and the internet and the digital realm is companies have to walk the walk now, because it's pretty easy for a couple of clicks of a mouse, you can get right behind a company and see what they're really thinking and what they're really doing. So I think it's forced companies to be better.
Public relations is part of the family of programs offered here at the MediaPlex. Here is a look at the exciting things they do.
So public relations is like being a bridge between an organization and their public. As this public relations expert, you are a liaison, so you have to connect the brand or the business or the company with their public in such a way that the public responds to them in a positive manner. So the advantages of taking public relations at St. Clair College is that we have access to the MediaPlex. Now the MediaPlex offers us a converged education. It's one of 3 in the world and the only one in Canada. What that means is that we're taught in film, broadcast, radio, there's graphic design, we do event planning, we write all sorts of press releases, we work in tandem with the journalism club. So at the end of everything, you can communicate any professional message across any medium. So what do you think about public relations?
If you think print is dead, think again. Ravishan Wajemane tells us more.
A book is a book is a book. Despite the rise of e-books and audiobooks, the physical book is still alive and kicking in Windsor. Thanks to pulp-loving Windsorites, the family-owned second-hand bookstore in Ottawa Street, Juniper Books, celebrated its 15th anniversary this year. Owner Roger Werdeman says the COVID-19 lockdowns inspired a whole new demographic to frequent his store. Now the majority of his clientele are so-called digital natives, Windsorites between the ages of 20 and 30.
Now it's mostly people under 40 who come in here. I'm fairly confident the actual book will continue to thrive. The feel of a book, the smell of a book, the context it gives you, the immediacy of it, the durability of it. It's a perfect product to me.
According to BookNet Canada, print books saw a 40% drop in sales in 2020 when retail stores closed down in March. However, the number recovered starting May. In the period between May and July, physical book sales grew by 15% compared to the same period in the previous year. For MediaPlex News, I'm Ravishan Vijaymanna.
In this ever-changing world of technology, Caleb Coulter is here to tell us what's new.
Windsor is one of the many cities across Canada receiving funding from the COVID-19 Resilience Stream. This fund, with over $3 billion available, will assist municipalities in updating and improving existing city and community buildings. Improvements to existing buildings could be as drastic as new central air systems, or as minor as retrofitting doors to have touchless sensors. Windsor City Hall, the Adventure Bay Aquatic Center, and even the Windsor City Transport Terminal will all be receiving improvements. Miranda Karen, a student at St. Clair College, says touchless upgrades can be a big deal for some people.
I use the public transit system in Windsor all the time. I have a skin condition, so when doors are automatic and I have to use hand sanitizer, I tend to have an allergic reaction. So I think making the change to automatic doors in all municipal buildings is a very good step for people like me.
The Windsor Transit Terminal is one of the many municipal buildings that will be benefiting from the COVID-19 Resilience Stream Fund. Upgrades will include touchless doors, washrooms, and many other features.
The process of improving several city buildings has already begun. More changes are set to begin soon. From MediaPlex News, I'm Caleb Coulter.
Windsor is a city of neighborhoods, and I am here to show you one of them. It's one of Windsor's most historic neighborhoods, and it is home to many shops, bars, and other prominent landmarks. So what is the story around one of Windsor's oldest neighborhoods? I'll tell you in today's Did You Know? Walkerville was created by Hiram Walker, who was a wealthy distillery owner. The town at the time was called Walker's Town, and it was incorporated to be a shining example of what a town could be. It was also built around a distillery, complete with homes for the workers, schools, and one of the most famous landmarks in the area, Willestead Manor. In June 2021, Walkerville was listed among one of the coolest neighborhoods in North America due to its low crime rate and accessibility to medical services. The more you know. For MediaPlex News, I'm Zachary Balog. In Kingsville, a new pickleball court is opening up. What's pickleball? Ken Pastishin has the answer.
If you're in the neighborhood of the Kingsville Arena Complex, stop by and take a look at their outdoor pickleball court. It's the new home for the 100-plus member Kingsville Pickleball Incorporated Club. Pickleball is a fast-growing recreational activity, which can also be a competitive sport with tournament play. The game has elements of badminton, ping pong, and played in an area a quarter the size of the tennis court. There are quite a few experienced and friendly pickleballers willing to teach anyone who wants to learn the game. Jules Kay is one of the founding members of Kingsville Pickleball.
Meeting new people, the camaraderie, the sport. I'm 70 years old now, so just being able to get out and run around the court like an 18-year-old, that's perfect.
Mr. Kay was kind enough to invite me to a game of pickleball. Here's what you need to play.
Paddle, wiffle ball, and a court. And believe me, it's not as easy as it looks.
Being a couch potato for much of the pandemic, I also stumbled during many of my rallies. Pickleball is a great way to lose those COVID-19 pounds. Next season, Kingsville Pickleball is planned to grow their membership. See you then. From the town of Kingsville, I'm Ken Pastushin for MediaPlex News Now.
Thanks, Ken. And finally tonight, here is a look at the MediaPlex from the people who study and work here.
Journalism enables people to be well informed. It's documenting history. It's an extraordinary way for people to be connected with their community.
What happens in the world affects us. What happens in our community affects us. What happens in the province affects us. And we get to be the eyes and ears and tell the stories. There are many stories that need to be told, and those things add value to our life.
It's neat to know that so many people are relying on me. It makes you strive for perfection, or it makes you strive for accuracy.
The journalism program here at St. Clair College is a convergence journalism program. Convergence means the merging together of print, radio, and television, and the web, and putting all different stories into 3 or 4 different platforms.
I can go out now and I can understand how to write a print. I know how to do social media. I can shoot a video. So you start to trust yourself and to use your journalistic skills.
In 21st century newsrooms, journalists have to be able to do it all.
We ask every one of our reporters to tell stories in multiple ways.
There's a different style of writing for print than there is for radio, than there is for television. And it's really important that the information gets out that is true to those platforms.
We are one of the few, if not the only, program that is actually taking students to a live broadcast and giving them that opportunity and that experience.
I want to be a journalist because I think I like to listen other stories.
午间好，这里是媒体综合新闻节目，我是谭一丹，欢迎收
I
看。
find that the students that come out of St. Clair College are already at or above where some of our broadcast employees have been over the last several years.
I feel that I made the greatest decision I could by choosing this program because I have learned so much, and I think that I can only grow from here.
I would hands down recommend the program to someone considering it. I would recommend it to someone that's not even considering it. They teach you such a vast array of different skills, different platforms, different things that you could really apply to so many different careers.
Based on literally hundreds of interns I've seen over the years, St. Clair students are better prepared to go into the work environment in media than most students coming out of colleges and universities across North America.
I think it's that very comprehensive curriculum that we have that creates converged journalists that sets this journalism school apart.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Zachary Balog, and you've been watching MediaPlex News Now.
MediaPlex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.